I can calculate the mean and the mad. The mean is the average amount of a group of numbers. It's like taking all the amounts and sharing them equally. So look at this first example here with the 77696. Imagine that those are how many cookies 5 different people have. So one person has 7 cookies, the next has 7 cookies, the next has 6 cookies, the next has 9 cookies, and 6 cookies for the last person. So what if they put all those cookies into a giant pile and then shared them equally? The mean is like how many they would have if they shared those amounts equally. So step 1, we are going to add up all the numbers. So if I add 7, 7, 6, 9, and 6, I'm going to come out with a total of 35. Step 2, count how many numbers. So in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to then, as our last step, divide the total by how many numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick a division sign in between here. 35 divided by 5 is 7. So using my cookie analogy here, everybody would have ended up with 7 cookies. On our next one, we're going to find the mean of these grades. So I'm going to add up 91 plus 97 plus 90 plus 97 plus 96 plus 80 plus 92. That comes out to 643. Next, I'm going to count how many numbers there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to divide that. So 643 divided by 7 is 91.85742. And then it keeps repeating. So I'm going to use that repeating line over the top here. If I wanted to round it off, I probably would not round it to the whole number, calling it 92. I usually like to keep at least 1 decimal place if I was to round. So I would probably call this 91.9, and I rounded that up because of the 5. On our next one, we're going to add 2 plus 2.5 plus 2.4 plus 4. And that gives me a total of 10.9. I'm going to count how many there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to divide that. So 10.9 divided by 4 is 2.725 inches as the average mean length. The next thing to look at is the MAD. MAD is the abbreviation for the mean average difference. It's the average distance each value is from the mean. So step 1, we need to find the mean. Okay, step 2, we're then going to take that and we're going to subtract it from each value. Subtract the mean from each value. Now, I don't want a negative answer, so I'm going to put whichever of the 2 numbers is bigger on top. Once I have that, I'm going to add those totals. Let's say add those differences. And then I'm going to divide by how many numbers. So my first step is to find the mean of these numbers. So I'm going to do 17 plus 15 plus 16 plus 19 plus 18 plus 17. And the way we find the mean is we add them all up. That's 102. Divided by how many? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 102 divided by 6 gives me 17. Step 2, I'm going to subtract this from each one. So I'm going to do 17 minus 17, which is no difference. Now, I'm not going to do 15 minus 17 because that would give me a negative. So I'm going to do 17 minus 15, which is 2 away. 17 minus 16, which is 1 away. I'm going to do 19 minus 17, it's 2 away. 18 minus 17 is 1 away. 17 minus 17 is no distance away from the mean. So now I'm going to add up these differences. So I'm adding 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 0. So that gets me 6. And lastly, I'm going to divide that by how many numbers I had. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So my MAD is 1 away. On average, all these numbers are 1 away from that mean. The smaller this MAD, the less variability we have. The bigger this MAD, the more variability we would say these numbers have. Okay, our next one here, we're going to find the mean by adding these up. 3 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 1. That gets me 19. I'm going to divide by how many numbers? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 19 divided by 5 is 3.8. So now I'm going to subtract those from the values. So I'm going to do 3.8 minus 3 is 0.8. 4 minus 3.8 is 0.2. 7 minus 3.8 is 3.2. 4 minus 3.8 is 0.2. And 3.8 minus 1 is 2.8. So I'm going to add up all those differences we just found. The 0.8, the 0.2, the 3.2, the 0.2, and the 2.8. Just give me a second to type those in. 0.8 plus 0.2 plus 3.2 plus 0.2 plus 2.8. That gets me a total of 7.2. And that is going to be divided by how many numbers there were. There were 5 numbers. So on average, these are 1.44 away from the mean. That is the MAD in that case. So my mean was 3.8. And on average, the numbers are 1.44 away from that mean. So this one has more variability than the top one did, but not a whole lot more, just that 0.44 extra.